Hey everyone, this is Kieran from Keys Minis and welcome to today's video. We're going to take a look at this tactical rock using a mixture of Rakarth, Flesh and Grey Seer. I'm working over a black primer. Would be quicker with a grey or a white if you've got one. It's just I prefer the look over a black primer. Just gently work around. Probably going to take around 2 or 3 layers to get a good coverage, but this is the recipe I use across all my Votan, and it just adds a real depth to the look of the model. Using Bane Blade Brown next, I'm just going to wash all over the rock basically. Make sure you get into the recesses on the undersides of it as well, and just a nice thin wash. It creates a bit of a dirtier look on it, but it just adds some nice contrast. Now using Dryad Bark, this is like my deep shade. I'm just going to work in like any of the nooks and crannies, crevices. Make sure to work around the side where there's lots of little grooves and notches as well. Take your time, try and not let it pool too much. Work at probably a thin layer of like glazing consistency to a wash consistency, which is like where you thin it down quite a lot with water, but just again take your time. Now just using Grey Seer, I'm just going to go back over with a dry brush and kind of just pick out the raised areas. I use my dry brush with I forgot what they call them, one of the boards, just to get, rather than a paper towel to clean any excess off. I find it just doesn't leave as much that grainy look when you actually dry brushing, and it looks a lot better. Now with white, same again, just gonna pick up any raised areas across the rocks. Like I've shown in this, I'm doing it on a couple of rocks that I've used across again my Votan army, but this will work great on any light rocks. I've used it on some orcs as well, on some of their like battle worn bases as well, and it looks really good. Next I'm going for some weathering, a bit of weathering look, and this is like the final stages. Using some Steel Legion Drab, I'm just going to pick out any areas I feel where like I'd create the rock could create kind of a weathered look. So again, in some of those recesses and around the edges, around some of the sides, and it's just really just to add that extra bit of pop into this rock. Creates a nice look. You could mix different colours depending what look you want to go for. You could add some mossy greens into it. With this I was just going for some simple subtle browns. On like the little rock, I just worked on like more of the bottom areas as opposed to like the higher areas. But again, work 1 or 2 layers of this and you can get a really nice contrast between the grey. And that's it, final layer. I'm just going to add again a little bit to the weathering, just pick out smaller areas this time with some Mournfang Brown. Just take my time to pick out those little areas, and that's it. You get a nice, doesn't take too long, it's just waiting for the layers of glitter to dry in between. Just make sure they're dry properly and don't rush the process. I usually, obviously I'm working on models in between while I'm doing this process, so it dries up fairly quickly, but it creates a nice look. Here's a finished look on a couple of the Votan that I've done. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll be back next week with another video.